Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's edition of Press Hour. Sectarian voices, hate speech, echoes of marginalization, questioning of governance, and calls for a more inclusive society have in several ways eroded the threats of national unity. But what has taken Cameroon by storm and constituted the greatest threat this far to national unity is the close to 8 years secessionist dissenting voices in what is now known as Anglophone crisis. In the wake of celebrations marking the 52nd edition of the National Day, which some people prefer to call Unity Day. Our focus on today's program shall be on how challenging it is to consolidate national unity with new hurdles in the horizon. To talk about this very important topic that is also very topical, we have the following. Yvonne Momabi is a civil society activist. She also is a human rights activist, to whom I welcome to Press Asset and wish her Happy Mother's Day. Yvonne, welcome.
Thank you, Killian. An honor to be the only mother on set. I seize this opportunity to wish a happy Mother's Day. Mothers are not only those who brought children to the world, but every woman who raises a child is a mother. So again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, the to-be mothers too.
Thank you very much. We are honored by your presence. And when we talk mothers, there's no way we cannot talk fathers. Our father on the set is Professor Elvis Ngolengole, who is a political scientist. He has so many titles, but this is the one we want to recognize him for on the set today. I'm not going to wish you Father's Day because it's not Father's Day today, but we cannot talk about mothers without talking about fathers. Prof, we are happy to have you on our set today.
Oh, it's always a great pleasure to be on your very prestigious platform, and this time around, I have the honor to be sharing the platform with very distinguished and highly esteemed personalities. The Prince is here, Mr. Ejede, and of course our mother, the Miss Yvonne Momabi. I join you to wish a happy Mother's Day.
Thank you very much, Prof. We have to celebrate our own while they are still active. I'm talking about active, I'm not talking about being alive. We are particularly indebted to you because each time we call you, you always answer present. And on Press Hour, like in other programs and other media, they find you, you always go. And we think that it is because you are competent, you have nothing to hide. The intellectual know-how, acumen is there, and that is why we think you are available all the time. Thank you very much. And it is time I introduce another person on the set. One of our guests is Prince Ejede Epie. Prince Ejede Epie is a politician. I want to introduce him here as a politician, but he also is going to give us one of his newest titles. Welcome to our set, Prince.
Thank you very much, Mr. Killian, for inviting me. A special good afternoon to the wonderful, distinguished guests, panelists this afternoon. A special one to Professor Elvis Ngolengole. As he rightly said, he's a wonderful gentleman who is always playing his role to the evolution of the political evolution of this country. Yes, you presented me as a politician. My recent cap is that I'm the spokesperson, National Secretary for Communication of the Popular Action Party.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and we will invite you. You know, this year, 2024, is an eve to very, very important elections in Cameroon, and each time we need someone to come and talk on behalf of a political party, we will look at you to come in from the opposition bench. Charity begins at home. Sometimes we want to end at home. We prefer to give out. Richard Lajon is the publisher of the Herald Tribune. He is a colleague, and I decided to end with Richard because there are certain things that Richard is going to talk about that concern the press. Richard, welcome to Press R. Welcome to your Press R.
Thank you so much, Killian, for bringing me back from my sabbatical. I think it's over a year I haven't been on set. It's my pleasure to once more be on set, especially to be on set with prominent professors like Prof. by my right, at least with Yvonne. I've been with her on set. And Prince, it's my pleasure to be on set with you. And let me use this opportunity too to wish Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, especially my mother, and all other mothers who secretly pray for the success of their children and for the family.
We need to have the name of your mother because it's actually an honor.
You're right. I fondly call her Mami Es. She's Mami Esther Azza Lazon Akumawa. So she's watching as we speak because she likes us on radio or on television. So I want to especially greet her on this special day for mothers.
Thank you, Richard. And Mami S, you are taking the honor on behalf of all the mothers in Cameroon. Thank you very much, Richard. I said I was going to end with you because the program begins with you. You are the press man on the set. Give us 2-3 headlines that you picked out in the news in the week.
Yes, Killian, during the week we also witnessed the celebration of the 52nd edition of the National Day.
The event of the week?
The event of the week.
The event even of the year?
Yeah, I mean, all of us witnessed that last Monday. And the celebrations were quite impressive across the national territory, that some political parties, especially in the Northwest region, that have not taken part in commemorations like that, were able to come out again after close to 7 years. I'm talking about the Social Democratic Front, whose birthday is also today. And they came out strongly. I think that was a sign of exercising civic responsibility, accepting the fact that we are all one, that Cameroon is one and indivisible, as politicians would say. And a second thing that also caught my attention down the week was the death of the mayor of Bello, who was killed on that day, on May 20th, while he was going to the grandstand to participate in the 20th May celebration. He was killed by armed men alongside the inspector of basic education for Bello and one other person. I think that has been one of the things that has touched me so much this week, considering that over a month ago I sat with the mayor not far from here. We shared a glass and we discussed many other things. And so when I saw this, when I heard the news, I felt so devastated. It actually spoiled my day. There's no other way for me to, celebrate National Day. And the third thing, you asked for two, but let me go to the third one, was this convention, this SMEC, the Cameroon Mining and Investment Convention that was held here in Yaoundé, was held by the Minister of Mines. And I think that was a great success, to pull ministers from more than 50 countries across the world to come to Cameroon to talk important issues. I think it was a great success to me as well, and a great event for this nation that Professor Fu Callistos, the Interim Minister of Mines, has actually, done, to project Cameroon as a mining point where, we have a lot of minerals under the soil, which we need to exploit. And I think from the presentations, from the blueprints that came out of that conference, I think Cameroon is going to be a melting pot in the days ahead as far as mining is
Thank you
concerned.
very much. I take this opportunity to congratulate, to also greet Acting Minister of Mines, Industries and Technological Development, Professor Fu Callistus Gentry, whom we are going to stretch our hand to have him talk more about mining, which we all know the head of state has a high premium on that, because it is what is going to propel our economy in the years that come. You know about this, and it is not secret to anyone. We want to greet him and greet him for that initiative. You were talking about the killing of the mayor of Bello, and we're going to take 2-3 minutes to pay tribute to the mayor of Bello, Dr. Innocent Akiamong Ngong, who was guest on Press Hour on the 21st of April 2024. That is just about a month ago. And we had a nice time together even after the program. That's what you were making allusion to. We are devastated by what happened to him and the other people with whom he was on that day going to celebrate National Day. As I speak, I'm just going to give you 45 seconds to pay tribute to a friend of Press Hour, a friend of ours who has gone in a very brutal, abrupt manner. Yes, I'll begin with, you've talked about him already. We're going to take the 3 others, beginning with you, Yvonne.
Yeah, I've shared this panel with Dr. the Mayor of Bello, and I found in him, we are preaching and praying that youth be promoted. I saw prospects in him. It can only be a sad me. I really was sad when I found out he had been murdered in cold blood. And the question I ask is, when we kill our own, how does that affect Yaoundé? Or how does that affect the general picture of Cameroon? Some of you may be listening. It's high time we stopped destroying the future of our region, destroying our own.
Prince?
Well, it's really a sad situation. It's really pathetic. When I saw the images, well, it was, I don't know what is really going on. I don't know how a young promising man like that can just be killed in cold blood. I also understood that maybe even the deputy was part of it.
Yes.
It's, I don't know if it is targeted killings, but as Mom rightly said, how can we be killing our own? The other day I also followed how gendarmes were killed in Manu. I asked myself many questions. The Benjamin in my family is a gendarme officer, so I put myself in that casket, that if it was, and he has worked in Manfi, if it was my junior brother who was killed like that, how would I feel? So I think that the problems of this country cannot be solved in this manner. These people, these guys were deceived. Is the truth. We're deceived. I am one of those who think that Cameroon is one. I'm one of those who think that Cameroon is one. If you follow the migratory trend history of Cameroon, you realize that Cameroon is from Adamawa coming down. But people will tell you today that we are Anglophones, we are Francophones. We are not. I am Bakosi. I think Professor Ngolengola Elvis will also tell you that he is Bakosi. I'm not Anglophone. These are theses that we should not support in this country. It's really pathetic, Killian, to see a mayor, somebody who was the light of his people. Because I know what it means to become a mayor in a town. It means that many people believe in you. So it is high time, as Mom rightly said, that this nonsense, which is taking us nowhere, stop.
I join you, and I also feel like you feel, like Cameroonians feel, except those who are perpetrating such acts, because they will not have been feeling the way we feel, and go ahead to do that. But there's a question I ask you when you're talking about that, which so many other Cameroonians out there will be asking. What are you talking about? Is it wrong that we have been described as Anglophones before this thing came up?
It is wrong. It is wrong. In Cameroon, when the word which is coming Anglophone, Francophone, should not come because we are Cameroonians. We are not Anglophones. In the word itself, we are not. That word is a word that I know many people will not share what I'm saying, but it's what is my opinion is what I think.
Because linguists say that words only make meaning in context. That's what they call collocation. Well, if they decided to call that part of the country Anglophone, you cannot deny that today. You should deny what is happening in the name of Anglophone.
Speaking Cameroonian.
Killian, we are not refusing that. In the history of this country, we had one part which are English-speaking Cameroonians and another part which are French Cameroonians. But it should be also clear to Cameroonians that even these people who are these people who pay allegiance to these words, the Britain never colonized Cameroon. France never colonized Cameroon. What do you think about those who can also say that they are Germanophiles? So we should be careful with this word, because this is the word today which is dividing.
Okay, that would be a debate for another day. We're not going to get out of our topic, but I had to ask you that question because there are some people who think that what's in the name. If we accepted that name before, we should not deny, we should not reject it today. We should reject what is happening in the name of Anglophone, not that name per se. Anyway, as I say, that topic is for another day. Prof, we're going to conclude this talk about the brutal killing of the mayor of Bello, Dr. Innocent Ngong Akyambo.
Yes, I share the opinions and of the distinguished panelists who have preceded me in denouncing this sort of barbarism and bestiality that we are seeing happening in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon, especially when it has to do with eliminating, destroying, killing innocent young men and women in this manner. You just said that just a month ago. You shared this platform here with this mayor of Bello, and to see that 1 month later he is no more with us, and that he was murdered in the manner that he was murdered, we ask ourselves, where are we? What is really? How can we tolerate this shame? How can we tolerate this added sort of bestiality when we always prided ourselves in being Cameroonians who have who are civilized enough to be referred to as gentlemen and gentlewomen? What happened to us? And to see that in the last 7 or 8 years we are talking about life in the northwest and southwest regions in this manner, it's really a shame. For me, philosophically, I am against all forms of violence, no matter what, because, first of all, by my own education, I am of the Aristotelian school of education, where politics is to serve other people, and to make sure that other people are okay, and it's not to serve myself. Therefore, philosophically, there's no reason why someone should be killed, whereas your role is to serve someone else. Then why would you kill that someone else?
No, not
but practically, in the practical sense,
Yes.
I keep telling people, Prince Jedepia just said earlier that he considers himself a Cameroonian first because he's Bakosi, just like me. People keep forgetting that the unity of Cameroon began as far back as when the Germans put us all together in this Cameroon with a K, and the peoples of this space that we call Cameroon today started feeling the sense and the desire to be together that far back, because the Tikaris were always across the regions, whether it's in Adamawa or in the northwest or in the west, always have been together. If we take the Sawa regions from Mamfe, I mean, he just talked about us, the Bakosis. The Bakosis are in both the southwest region and in the littoral region. And there's no difference. If you call me Ngola in Daido, it's the same person. You will not know whether I'm from Daido or I'm from Tombolo Bangim. So it just tells you that if a Batanga from Mundemba, how do you know how he's different from a Batanga in Kribi? No different. He's the same person. That is the same thing.
Prof.
Yeah?
Yes, I accept the appellation as he has suggested, English-speaking Cameroonians.
Yes, it is
but I do not
that's the right phraseology,
yes,
English-speaking Cameroonians. Yes,
I still do not reject Anglophone because I grew up to know that that's how we were called, and there was no problem until this
now
came.
We're seeing there is a problem.
This is yes a problem. Yeah. This is what I want you to let us understand. When you say because we are from Adamawa, we are the same people, the Chikas, or we are the Betis, and then they go from, we are the Mbos, you call them the Barumbis, that extend from the south to the south, to Trudwala, to the Littoral, to the southwest. Now, when you develop, you and AJDP, when you develop that thesis, the question many of us will ask, I ask on behalf of many Cameroonians, is if you develop that type of thesis, are you saying that the people of Nigeria who share the same culture with Cameroon, the people of Chad who share the same culture with some parts of Cameroon, should not be Chadians and we are Cameroonians and Nigerians? I am just being concerned.
No, they're free to be Chadians, they're free to be Nigerians. Don't forget, Ghanaians and Nigerians too are also Anglophones. So, but the Anglophones, the context in which you use Anglophones is because we have a part of Cameroon which was under British administrative control, under the auspices of the UN. But otherwise, if it is the word or appellation Anglophone, then actually Nigerians are Anglophones also, just like Ghanaians are Anglophones. But as far as the identity, territorial identity called Chad, Cameroon, Nigeria, that one is not we inherited that. We inherited that because the international system was such that from 1884, these European countries divided pieces of our territory and gave them the names they gave us. And these identities, territorial identities, have remained. That's why you have Chad, you have Cameroon, you have Nigeria, and you have the rest. There's nothing wrong with that. But for us, in our case, the context of Cameroon, I think that for the world to hear that we are killing each other under the context that we call Anglophone, everybody else begins to wonder, but what is wrong with these people called Anglophones? Are they different from Anglophones who are in Nigeria or in Ghana or in Tanzania or whatever? So it just tells you that there's something shameful and wrong about this killing in the name of Anglophones.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with being English speaking or French speaking.
Yes.
But when you begin to manifest your, shall we say, Anglophoneness or English speakingness in this manner, through barbarism, you wonder what is so special about these Anglophones in the English speaking parts of Cameroon that is different from the Anglophones who are in Ghana or in Nigeria. There must be something.
Thank you, and that is exactly part of what we are going to be talking about. It is one of the challenges in consolidating national unity. That is the threat that Cameroon has had for, I think, since independence, even pre-independence period. This is the biggest threat that we have had to national unity. Let us identify some of the new threats and see how we can consolidate national unity, beginning with Richard.
Yeah, I think the newest threats which we now have is just something we're just talking about, the Francophone, Anglophone. That some people are identified as Francophones, others are identified as Anglophone. It is already a threat. It's already a threat to national unity, because once you see yourself coming from a different area, and this person sees himself coming from a different area, one thing is clear, that we will not agree. There's going to be a disagreement. One person is going to see the other as being inferior, and the other thinks this person is superior. But if we think as one, that we are Cameroonian, like Prince said, that you are first and foremost a Cameroonian before being an Anglophone or a Francophone, we will think differently. But you see, Killian, where we find ourselves today, this Anglophone, this crisis that we're talking about, it stems from the fact that some people think that they are marginalized, which is true. There's no doubt about that. The Northwest and Southwest feel that they are marginalized by their brothers of the French-speaking Cameroon. And that has been one of the reasons for this crisis we're having today. Again, if you come within the Northwest and Southwest, there's already again that divide. It's a big challenge. Because somebody from the Southwest think that somebody from Northwesterners are dominating. That if you look at certain spheres of life, you find more of people from the Northwest inside than people from the Southwest. So it becomes again another problem, which if we don't take care, we're going to start solving. Even if today the Northwest and Southwest come together as one entity, we will still be having the problem of Northwest-Southwest divide. The Southwest will think that we have the sea, we have the CDC and many others.
Minerals.
And other minerals. The Northwest will think that, oh, we have the population, we have the, that comparison will lead us into more crisis than even what we are facing today. So I think if we start by nipping in the bud these differences, then we are going to consolidate our national unity. There will be nothing like Northwest or Anglophone or Francophone.
Well, I give you credit for your ideas, and then I pass the idea around to the other speakers. We're going to pick one. We were on that. So how do we consolidate national unity through that Anglophone or English-speaking, French-speaking dichotomy as a problem, as one of the new challenges?
Killian, I would like to inform Cameroonians or remind us that if you were to check the educational systems, we will soon have more English-speaking Cameroonians in Cameroon than French-speaking.
Consider.
Our educational system was embraced by the majority who speak French because of the quality. Eventually, how are we going to define who is this borrowed language name we call ourselves Francophone or who is Anglophone? We have to, build in our children the notion, nationalism notion. These children, we are all Cameroonians before these two borrowed languages came in. I am Ngemba. I am not Anglophone. It's reductive when I call myself an Anglophone. First and foremost, I was born in Cameroon. I didn't choose to be born here. I am a Cameroonian. If you ask me, I'm from the Ngemba tribe.
That's your identity.
That's my identity, and I think we have to lay emphasis on this. It doesn't mean too that the two regions that originated from the southern Cameroons, my brother Lajon said it, we think there is some sense of assimilation. We were called the United Republic of Cameroon. How did I suddenly find myself saying I'm from Cameroon? United, because some two entities came together to form this country. Those are little issues that power holders can easily address, and everybody will find themselves comfortable living with. My children used to be in Sacred Heart. I tell you, 80% at one time were from the French-speaking background. those are the inheritances we got from these two backgrounds. Instead of, drawing profit from the goods of these two systems, we take them to antagonize ourselves. I say no here.
Wow.
If that were to happen, I don't know whether I'll be going to Nchang, to Douala, or to which part of Cameroon, because my home, my own children were already a national integration family.
Okay.
So where do I put myself? This is what we should always lay emphasis on and tell our brothers and sisters. You are not Anglophone. You happen to have been born from that part of the country. Let's put the genuine issues on the table and ask that we go back to the drawing table, discuss our togetherness, and bridge those gaps. A lot have been breached, but because the chaos are ongoing, nobody sees it happening. ENAM now has the common law department.
Yes.
That is thanks to your demands, which means we can use the gentlemanly manner and resolve our issues like citizens of this country. Have we not seen enough blood?
Too much. Now you're talking about common law. The main things that brought this crisis from the stepping stone were about the educational system and then the law. And you're talking about the ENAM, the National School of Magistracy. And
the educational system that has been embraced by the other part.
Yes.
So why not take the good of the English subsystem? Take the good of the French subsystem, combine and give a Cameroonian educational subsystem.
Thank you very much. I think we should cut this contribution out and listen to it. Listen to it over and over. Yes, Prince JDP, we are on this. How do we use this problem of English-speaking Anglophone crisis, which is a new threat to national unity? How do we consolidate national unity by solving this problem?
You see, Killian, I'm one of those who think that we need to think Cameroon. It has always been my philosophy. You see, the casket that you invited me on this platform today, I understand it, and it's for us to give maybe solutions to see how we can consolidate this national unity. We are not here to divide. We need to construct, to build. When I first of all made mention that we are not Anglophones and we are not Francophones. Those who want to challenge me, we should come on a platform so that we can educate Cameroonians on how they think that we are Francophones or we are Anglophones. It's a wrong thesis. It doesn't match. That is not Cameroon.
Yes.
Cameroon is above that. It's but true that those who inherited the leadership of this country, they failed somewhere, and it is because of that failure to think Cameroon that maybe we are having this crisis today in the northwest and the southwest. That one should be clear. But how do we consolidate it? I'm one of those who think that to add from these inheritance of English and French languages, we should come up with a national language.
We have national languages.
Let me go to the end of my logic. What I mean by national language, I mean a national language where all Cameroonians will speak that national language. If you go to a country like China, they have disparities, but they have a national language, which is Chinese. If you go to Senegal, which is an African country, they have disparities, but they have a national language, which is Wolof. Now, that national language doesn't mean that they will take Akose as the national language, or they will take Limbum as a national language, Onso or Lamso as a national language. If you look at Cameroon very well, for those who have done linguistics, we speak almost, we do the same pronunciations.
Yeah, we actually.
For example, our mom here comes from Ngemba. In the Bakosi, we call stomach abum. Let her call it. That Cameroonian should hear how they call it. You understand? No. So what I'm
get you. You're very logical in what you're developing.
So to come up with this national language, we think that we should bring historians together, bring anthropologists together, bring linguists together, bring all these scientific subjects that can come up to codify a national language.
Yes.
Where
I like your contribution. We've understood it enough, and then we have a national language, and all the other languages are variations of that national language. Thank you very much. We're going to move to Prof. Give Prof 3 minutes to talk about it, because we have other elements, other challenges, new challenges to national unity that we have to handle. We move out of this crisis in Northwest and Southwest with you, Prof. How do we consolidate national unity by how do we solve that problem to consolidate national unity?
You know, this week we've just celebrated an exceptional moment in our national communion, which is the National Unity Day. And you could see all over, in all the four corners of Cameroon, to be together, be one, live together. Everyone saw that, and it's like the same news of the week, if not news of the Cameroonians had on to make out and expressed their common will, live together to have show this attachment to our national goals, to show that unity is alive, it's relative, it's a process. If after 2 years ago, the unity and more than 2 years ago, you see, celebration, a reflection of the heritage, vision of founding fathers more than 60 years ago. The fathers, all of them, they came from very much background, and they came from all the parts of Cameroon. They did each other before. They had one thing in common, as PSA, one thing in common. Cameroon, without all its diversities, no matter what ethnic, tribe, language could come from, they want for there to be a nation, Cameroon, a people called Cameroon, where we together and share common symbols, will, everything, a desire to move together. So, our founding fathers have done a great deal of good by this heritage. We are maintaining this heritage years later. Some understand.
Some of them got appointed and rejected and resigned.
I do just say, it's whole idea. The politics we have been doing for more than 60 years, or for over 60 years, is an aspect of common, long history, common will for the people to be together. Politics, forget that we city beings, and as beings, whether or not we are not infallible. There are mistakes here. What's important about politics is that we must be honest and recognize we are not able. We are making mistakes, and when we make mistakes, we should be honest enough to recognize that we made mistakes, acknowledge, and try to make an effort to correct these mistakes. Once that things will move, it doesn't mean that our founding fathers were super. I need to some errors. We still read it because that heritage, the vision, that is what is us together today. But in order for us to move as to your questions, in order to move ahead, first, continue to show on this unity, we will live together, in spite of the mistake we make here. Whether we're a teacher or decision maker or what, we're all citizens. We are all citizens of the same father, the same son. So we have to making mistakes, but we should be honest and be humble to say, mistake, but his mistake. Second thing, in progress to say, state has a regulation duty. The mission of every state, sovereign, make sure that its citizens the resources of that state are destroyed. Citizens in a way that's not feel marginalized or violated or so forth. And I think this is what the state of Cameroon is trying to do. If you notice, the state is notice that side of the state that reform reform for the last something, and you know this logic of reform, and also state of Cameroon realize you have to continue to open up yourself to dialogue. Don't try to dialogue with someone. You don't always agree, but thank you. You find
thank you.
You should be in that mood. Get there.
Just touch the that we said down as a new to national unity, which is inclusion. Many things that inclusion and exactly what I'm going to ask you to develop.
It's improvement that I couldn't know in my head. It's true. We are suffering this country today because of lack of inclusion. Why is it some parts of the country are more developed than the other? Because the national quake is not shared equitably.
Equitably.
Yeah.
The line that
yes.
Equally. Equitably.
Some people think that other need what they don't exactly. For example, if you where you use the region, a lot of money is taken, but you understand it is the least developed region in the country, but so much money is coming from there. Again to oil is coming from the roads. They don't have electricity, they don't have schools, they don't have hospitals worth salt, but so much money is coming in this area. So where is money going to? Ever take develop their own areas? Those who are in charge don't think as if it's coming a percentage. Certain percentage should go to this to develop their own areas. They take the mass and keep in terms or develop their own or this region, for example. I think that
useful.
when on your business, happy to
no, continue. I have good news. The minister in the forest of my life, he will show reforms that taking care of. The minister of mining met him and they have shown reform take of it. So continue.
Because people have been crying aloud. People have been crying aloud. If people didn't raise their voices, they would not have thought that the East region needs better roads. The East region needs bigger hospitals and any other institution that is worth the salt. They only had the university created last year. At the beginning of this year,
yes, but they have departments of other universities
good.
already.
So, but did we have to wait for people to cry before these things are developed?
Thank God.
It is clear. Let us agree. Let us agree here that the national cake is not shared according to what the people need. We come up to let's look at it politically. Let's come again to look at it politically.
Yes, we have to move.
We go to the South region. They have, I think, 12 parliamentarians, whereas the population of the South region put together is not up to a division, one of the divisions in the Northwest or Southwest regions with one parliamentarian.
Oh, in the far north.
Or in the far north. The far north, for instance, that's another underdeveloped area, which we think that if we want to consolidate national unity, Killian, let us share the national cake to all the regions. Let all the regions feel that they belong to Cameroon.
Thank you.
And they are benefiting from the fallout from the different areas.
Thank you.
It should not be diverted to one particular region.
Thank you very much. And I just want to raise this here. Each time I have the opportunity, I don't miss it. Equitable distribution, that is your word that I buy totally, means also that it should be taken to other parts that are less privileged in natural resources. And I'm talking particularly about the BLM is the one division in Cameroon that is not linked by any tower to any other. Yes, to headquarters and to other. That is the equitable distribution of national cake, as you said. Thank you very much for that. We are going to take, you and Prof, you've taken so much time. We're going to shift to this side, and we're going to take one of the new challenges of national unity, hate speech, and then governance. We'll begin with one of them. I want you to choose which of those two, because under governance, there is the allegation that accountability is not there, transparency is not there, the rule of law is not effective. They've talked about equitable distribution of the Commonwealth, of national wealth. Then to redress the problem of gerontocracy, which of them will you take? Is it
governance with gerontocracy and
as a human rights activist?
Yes. Yes, I could not have left that one. Let's use this platform to tell the powers that be what we think can be done to better Cameroon. We just lauded the commemoration of the 52nd National Day. If I were to advise, reduce this to a military parade. Use the emblems of Cameroon. Kick politics out of it. We Cameroonians know that the military stand for us with our national emblems. We want to see them parade. We keep civilians and we can celebrate in our different homes. Again,
well, Cameroon, let me remind you. The statement you are making has so many implications. I don't know whether I understand it well. Cameroon is a lay, decentralized state.
Leave your lay and decentralized.
Yes.
You know, you can't put words in.
That makes when
they're commemorating the national unity, the parade is done by the military. Everybody feels you only see civilians.
The statement
what are you defending?
Not defending. The statement you have made.
That's promoting hate.
No, it's not hate.
What happens
during
those?
We are proud of our military. Yes. We are very proud and behind our military.
But
you cannot, in a lay state, you cannot say we should go
to your party headquarters and commemorate.
Is there anything wrong in that you allow only the military that represents all the countries?
There is something. Let Prof insist
our national emblems.
Is there anything wrong for them to come out?
Because the civilians that march past, take part on this march past, there are many polemics that come because of this. So to stop those polemics, hate speech, stop practicing hate. Yes, we have seen some political parties who are even represented.
You say you are limited to this number.
Are being banned not to take
part.
They are limited to a number.
Political parties are legalized, even though they are not represented maybe in the National Assembly.
But legalized.
They are legalized. Also sideline. So to stop all these polemics, what she said has too much sense.
Let her continue. I just wanted to come in because we should understand that Cameroon is a lay state.
We have understood. It's because of that lay state. From the lay state, we leave from there to somewhere. Being laid us, we didn't say it was a military state.
Okay, thank you.
So, the next is governance. He talked about sharing the national cake. It's shared in coffers in some homes. About gerrymandering with the too many MPs in the south, I will call you, I will beg for you to go and visit and see if they have their share of the cake. They don't.
Okay.
If we want equitable redistribution, consider, people get royalties from what they produce, that's an extra. But if that national cake is shared in such a way that we self-develop ourselves, choose what we think is priority to us, you'll see busy Cameroonians struggling to develop the country. But this is done in some coffers. I question, from when they started arresting embezzlers, how much has been retrieved?
Well, Konak,
Can they
Konak has figures.
you use 900 and something million to retrieve 1 billion. What did you do? Please.
Well, I know that's a caricature.
This is another country
that, okay.
of informed citizens. Let's do things right. A major national dialogue held to resolve these issues. I thought that was just a beginning of dialogue, and dialogue is a continuous process. When you go to that table, you don't go there with your friends, you go with those who even consider your enemies. Find consensus.
Thank you very much. I think you are so inspired today because it's Mother's Day.
Yes.
It can only be that. Now we have about 8 minutes to go to the end of this program. There's one other thing that is threatening, which is new, threatening national unity, is hate speech. You just made mention of that. We can always talk about, and we're going to start with you, Prince Ejedepie, and then we'll go around and probably conclude on that point.
Yes, if we look at our Cameroon society today, hate speech has been the order of the day. I think this hate speech. Recently, there is a law, maybe that was passed in Parliament to track those who propagate the hate speech. That is why we have been saying here that we should pass above. We think that to solve this problem, we should pass above tribalistic tendencies. Yes, we should pass above tribalistic tendencies. That's why we are saying, and we'll keep saying, that a national language is needed. We should pass above tribalistic tendencies. And there are other things that I think which also go along with the advent of this hate speech. Like we also see that there is nepotism, which is there. There is this favoritism. There is this clientelism. So if we want to really maybe solve this problem, I think that we should, as I said, fight in a way which all those who propagate this hate speech should be brought to book.
Yes,
they should be brought to book, because we cannot build this country. We cannot think Cameroon when some people think that maybe they are more than others. That's why we need to also. Do you know that maybe when we were growing up, there were some people who call you people Anglophile. Yes, but that word today is gradually is gradually dying down. So
when we were at the university in those days, in the 80s and 90s, that's when you had that. Exactly as you say. Exactly, we don't hear that today.
Exactly. So we should, as I was saying, that make in a way which Cameroonians will not think Francophone, will not think Anglophone. Just to make mention, maybe if you permit 30 seconds, China was colonized by Britain, but I don't see them saying that they are Anglophones. Look at China today. Look at their cultural heritage, and it is one of the pizarres in the world.
Thank you.
India was colonized by Britain. They are not Anglophones. They are not Anglophones.
Thank you.
So it's very important,
yes,
because we need to really consolidate this national unity. It's good that we have one of the decision makers in this platform, His Excellency Professor Golengole. We wish that he should carry this message to the power that be, that they should listen to what, like you saw the brilliant messages that our mom here said. It should be listened. It should be taken into consideration for us to see how we can consolidate this national unity.
Thank you, and I just want to assure you that Press is a direct forum your message goes directly to those. But as we have him, he is going to carry the physical message, but the verbal message has gone directly. Thank you very much for that contribution. Prof, you're going to talk about this hate speech and how we should fight to eliminate it to consolidate national unity. But one point you should know when you're talking about is to allow us some minutes, some seconds to talk about not only, as I've heard so many people complaining about, we should not only live together, we should eat together. So now, first thing, hate speech. How do we eliminate it to consolidate nationality?
Yes, to eliminate hate speech, it is it's an issue. Should be a concern of all of us. Just look at us in this platform here. We come from different backgrounds, but we're happy to be together, and we all share a lot of values in common. That's already, it tells you this is a true Cameroon we have here. You don't hear us quarreling or see us making as if the other one is a stranger. There's common ground here. That's exactly the vision, the wisdom, and the heritage that the founding fathers left with us. The issue of the distribution of resources, whether it's equitable or equal, is an issue which is everywhere. I mean, I don't want to call names of any country, but just call any country's name. The issue of the redistribution of national cake or national resources is always there, and it doesn't matter what country. Cameroon is no exception. But how do you solve this problem? You solve this problem by creating a state in terms of the way it's organized and its functions in such a way that the citizens are free to express themselves, as we see here. They are free. That's the thing we should value in Cameroon. We are free, and everyone can express themselves and come up with ideas, as we hear here from Miss Yvonne Moma and Prince Ejede and Richard. It's very good because we have that freedom. Secondly, we must use that freedom responsibly in such a way that the way we organize ourselves, we should be able to elect mayors, parliamentarians or senators, presidents, who we know will reflect our wishes and so forth and so on. In other words, politically, we should organize ourselves to make sure that we are not negative or that we are not irresponsible. Once you do that, you'll get there. As far as hate speech in particular, those who engage in hate speech or decide that they're going to engage in some sort of sectarianism are people who have no more argument. They've decided that even though that the freedom that there is, they'll use that freedom to engage in killings, destruction and kidnapping and so forth. But if you really know what freedom is responsibility. Freedom gives you the power to organize yourself, to think in a certain way, and to be able to make certain choices. And among those choices is not to insult somebody, or to kill somebody, or to kidnap somebody. No, you shouldn't do that. Among those choices is that use the brains and the freedom you've got to be able to put your ideas through in such a way that on the day of the ballot, you make a very rational and logical vote. Once you do that, you will not need hate speech, because those who engage in that hate speech and sectarian activities are people who have, let's say, they have run out of ideas, values, no more argument. Yes, so they've decided to become animals.
Thank you.
I mean, look at the mayor of Bello. What did this man do to deserve being murdered in this manner? Nothing. He's like us. Yes. He was here. Yes. But someone has decided that you use the freedom in Cameroon to destroy. This is the wrong way to go about life.
The very wrong way. We join you, Prof, to condemn that. Richard, unfortunately, the time.
Just one word. 20 seconds, Killian.
20.
We can consolidate national unity again by our dressing code. We want to see number one man of this country one day dress the public officially in Togo, in the Kandura, or in the Sanja. I think that is consolidating national unity.
Thank you very much. That's a message. Thank you very much.
Whether you refuse me the floor, don't talk. Whether you refuse me the floor, I will take it. See, the fish rots from the head.
Yes.
Hate speech should be, challenged from the hate.
Thank you.
Administrative hate speech should be sanctioned.
Sanctions.
There are
severely.
no 2 cubes of sugar anywhere.
Thank
we
you.
should sanction such people.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And we should
Thank you.
think Cameroon.
Thank you. Thank you. You see, it's very difficult to end this program. Thank you for coming, Professor Elvis Ngole.
Thank you.
Madam Yvonne Muma B. Thank you very much, Richard Nde Lajong. Thank you, Ejede APA, Prince Ejede APA. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope the program was as interesting to you as we found it here on the set. If you missed out on anything in this program, don't just worry. You're going to watch a rebroadcast of this program on Monday at 2:30. And you will have this program also broadcast on Wednesday after the news in French and CRTV News and other platforms that we have on CRTV. Be blessed. Thank you for watching.